I started volunteering last year, 2018, in September, following a period of time housebound at home because I have Parkinson's. And I got a new treatment which made me able to move again, because I'd spent 2 years just not being able to do anything and feeling pretty useless, and thought I want to do something useful. I'm living in Manchester now, which is not my hometown. Big problem with homelessness. Rang Barnabus, spoke to Neil, and came in for my taster session and loved it ever since, and haven't turned back. Started doing 1 morning a week, soon went up to 2, now doing 3 mornings a week, and I just really enjoy it. I feel useful, and like the staff and the other volunteers and the guys who come in, you know, they all need us, and anything we can do to help, it always feels like a positive. Well, I come in now 3 mornings a week on the drop-in session, and I do triage, so I speak to the guys who come in. If they're new, to get them down to the office, I'll take their details, the situation that they're in, and check if they've registered at council, because the first thing they need to do is to register at the town hall. So I might just be signposting them to go and do that before coming back to us. Or if I find out they're already working with other services, then signpost them to go and carry on working with them, or phone the person they were working with. Otherwise, I get them down to the office to speak to the support workers, who will then, bring them up a case and help them get into housing. Sometimes it's people needing sleeping bags, like this morning, because it's been raining, their sleeping bags have got wet, or wet clothing. So if they need a sleeping bag or a rucksack, again, I'll get the details and send them down to the office. So that's generally what I do. And in the afternoons, which I don't do any work in the afternoons, but we have different activity sessions in the afternoon, like arts and crafts, and we've just recently set up a football team, and we have IT and God's Lot as well, because we're a Christian charity. Just this morning, there's been a couple of guys who've come in and, wanted a sleeping bag because their sleeping bag's soaked through. And when you just tell them that they're ready at the office for them to go and fetch it, they're so grateful, because they've been cold. Certainly when they're new and we get them down to the office, if they feel like they've lost hope and things aren't working out for them, they will sometimes go down to the office, and not always they'll come back in and say thank you to all of us for helping them. But to be fair, what often happens is I take all their details, hear their story, they go down to the office, and I don't always find out what happens again, unless I ask, or they come back in. So, but you hear all the good things from the staff about what's happened since. But anything, just the volunteers that come in and give them tea and coffee, they're so thankful. And when they've got a dry pair of trousers or they've had a shower, they're always grateful. There was one chap who was actually the first person I ever triaged for, and got chatting to him, and he was in low position. It wasn't with his wife and children because he was homeless, and went down to the office, and bit by bit I was hearing that he was getting himself sorted out. He was looking for work. He was obviously willing to help himself as well as have the help, and I knew that he was doing everything he should. It was only in February of this year I bumped into him in Asda, and he came running over, and he said, and he couldn't remember my name, but he was, hello, Barnabus. And I said, oh, hello. And he said, I'm so glad I've seen you. I just wanted to tell you I've got a flat over there, and my wife and children are living with me, and I've got a job. And he just said, I'm so glad I've seen you, because I can say thank you, and I don't need to come back to the Beacon, even though I loved it there, he said. You're all so kind. That was, I remember going home and, telling my other half, and then coming in and saying, I've seen so and so, and everything's going well, and it was really nice. And to say that he was the first person that I'd ever actually triaged from the beacon down to the office was a lovely success story. And any time I hear that somebody's doing well, it's just the most heartwarming thing you can hear. It makes everything worth it.